Okay, boys and girls, today we're going to practice using something called forms, and we're going to practice using those forms to create a mini work of art, just a little work of art. This is going to give us practice so that when we create a larger work of art, like we're going to talk about next week, like this one right here, we will know how to create the forms in our work of art. So let's talk about that word form. What is a form? Now, we've been talking about lines and we've been talking about shapes. We've been talking about straight lines, wavy lines. A line is just from one point to the next, and we've been talking a lot about this. We know some shapes as well. We know that this is a circle, this is a square, this is a triangle. But what if I put lines and shapes together to make something that looks like I could pick it up and hold it? That is what a form is. A form is anything that looks realistic and has lots of lines and sides and angles to it, so it looks like I can pick it up and hold it. So a form, if I was going to take something from real life, a form is an object that has sides to it. So it has a bottom, it has sides going around, it has a top, and it has many areas that I could pick up and hold. Same thing with this stamp. It doesn't just have a square, it has sides to it. Same thing with this marker cap. It has a rounded side here, it has a top, and it has a bottom. So I could pick this up and hold it. It's a form. So notice how on this worksheet right here, all of these forms are things that I could imagine I could hold in my hand. It's not just a single line or a single shape. It's many lines and shapes put together. So your challenge today is to take some of these forms that we just practiced together and create a mini work of art. So on this worksheet, there are 4 different types of forms. We have cylinders. Cylinders always have a curvy circle top and some curved sides. Cubes and rectangular prisms, they look like squares, but they look like squares that I could hold, kind of like this stamp. They have square sides and edges, straight lines. Cones and pyramids. Cones and pyramids have either many straight sides to them, or it has a curved bottom and curved sides. So this is a cone and these are pyramids. And spheres and ellipses. Spheres and ellipses, imagine kind of like a ball. If I was going to hold a ball, so for my sphere, I'm just making a circle with a little dark shadow. And for these ellipses, they're just like a ball cut in half, like a half circle. So I'm going to use these forms today to create a mini work of art in my sketchbook. I'm going to create some machines using these forms. So your challenge is, how can you take some of these forms and put them together to create a machine? Okay, so on one page of my sketchbook, I'm going to start with a ground line. And remember, a ground line is just a line where all the forms are going to sit on top of. They're not going to be floating in the air. They're going to be sitting right on this table or this ground. So I'm going to just start by taking some forms and start to sketch them out with my pencil and to create some machines. So maybe I'll just start with any form. If I can't think of a machine yet, just start with a form. So I'm going to start with a cylinder. Circle top, 2 straight lines and a curved bottom. And now how can I build more forms into this cylinder to make it look more like a machine? Maybe I could just start by putting another cylinder on top and see what it looks like. And I'll erase this little line so it looks like this cylinder is on top of that cylinder. And maybe I could just keep building this up. Maybe I need a little keypad here because this is going to be a machine. So maybe I'm thinking this is a machine that could, I don't know, maybe it's a machine that could make something for me. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. I need to keep building some forms onto it. Maybe I need some more cylinders here. Maybe there's going to be a little handle on the end so I could crank it and it's going to make something for me. Let's see here. Maybe I could make a really long curvy cylinder and put a little pyramid at the end of it. Maybe I'm going to imagine that this machine is going to spray something out of it. I'm not sure yet. Let's see. Keep building that up here. I'm going to come back to this machine. I'm going to make a machine over here. I think I'm going to start with a cube for this machine. I'm going to imagine that this machine has a screen on it and some buttons, and it's going to make something for me. I think I want it to be a food machine. I want something to come out of it, and I want it to make some food for me. So I'm gonna have a little conveyor belt out here. And a little bowl at the end. I'll make an ellipse for the bowl. That's where all my food is gonna drop into. I think I'm gonna put another little cube here. Okay, there's a couple of my machines here for my ideas. Now, once I have created some machines, I can go back and add some details and some color. So I added some buttons here. I took my markers and I added some color to my machines. This is really just practice, using those forms to put them together to create something. So I'm just gonna title my page, Machines Using Forms, so I know what I did in my sketchbook here, okay? So later we'll talk about how we're gonna use these forms to create a larger work of art next week, but today is just practice.